My father told me to go live in the streets, so I did. What he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, because he never once asked what I was actually capable of, was that the streets would teach me everything his house never did. My name is Ryan Holloway. I'm 24 years old. And this is the story of how my father dismissed the only thing I was ever genuinely good at. How I walked out of his house with one bag and $340 and never looked back. And how 2 years of silence ended with a phone call that told me everything I needed to know about the difference between a man who believes in you and a man who only recognizes you after someone else already has. I need to start with my father. My dad owned 2 car dealerships in Memphis, Tennessee. He believed in things you could count: commission checks, units moved, square footage. He had an older son, Derek, who sold cars and made complete sense to him. I never made sense to him. I drew things, had been drawing since I was 6. Logos, lettering, pictures that told a story before anyone read a word. By high school, I was making artwork for school clubs, posters for local events, building something without knowing what to call it yet. Senior year, Memphis College of Art accepted me. Full scholarship, $24,000 a year covered. I needed $800 a month for living expenses. That was the entire ask. I put the acceptance letter on the dinner table. My dad read it, set it down. Art school, he said. Full scholarship, I replied. I just need living expenses covered. I'm not paying for a fantasy, my dad said. Derek didn't need handholding. He went to work and made something real. The scholarship covers everything, I said. $800 a month is all. You want to draw pictures for a living. He pushed the letter back across the table. Go figure it out yourself. You're not getting $1 from me. Go live in the streets with the other dreamers. My mom looked at her plate. Derek looked at his phone. I went to my room, sat on my bed for a long time. And then I packed one bag, laptop, drawing tablet, a hard drive with 4 years of work. Left everything else behind. My dad was in the kitchen when I came downstairs the next morning. I'm going, I said. He didn't look up from his coffee. All right. That was the last real thing we said to each other for 2 years. I had $340. Found a room on Valentine Avenue in North Memphis. Shared house, 4 roommates, 1 bathroom, walls thin enough to hear every conversation. $380 a month. I set up a folding table in the corner of my bedroom. Found a lamp someone had left on the curb 2 houses down. That was my workspace. That was my studio. I made a profile on Fiverr that first night, a website where freelancers sell their services. Set my price at $15 for a basic logo. Went to sleep, woke up to 1 message. Month 1, I earned $600. Enough for rent and food if I was careful. I was careful. Rice and eggs most nights. Walked to the library to print things instead of buying ink. Picked up a 4 a.m. shift at a FedEx sorting center to cover the gap, and designed every night when I got home. I got better fast. When the money is real, the improvement is real. Month 3, $1,100. I raised my prices. Month 6, $2,100. Regular clients started coming back, businesses that returned and sent others my way. A gym in Midtown Memphis hired me to create their complete visual identity, their logo, color scheme, and all their sign designs. $1,400. My biggest project to that point. I quit FedEx, went full-time on my own. Month 12, $4,800. I moved to a 1-bedroom apartment in Cooper Young, a neighborhood on the other side of Memphis. Real desk, a used office chair I bought for $40 online. The folding table from Valentine went into the closet. I kept it. Some things you keep not because they're useful, but because of what they remind you. I stopped taking small online jobs and moved to working directly with businesses. Raised my prices again. By my 2nd year of college, I was earning more each month than my scholarship covered in a full year of tuition. I told nobody in my family, not because I was hiding it, because nobody had called to ask how I was doing. Junior year, a restaurant company in Nashville found me through someone I'd worked with before. They had 4 locations and were opening 2 more. They needed everything redesigned: their logo, menus, signs, online images, staff uniforms, the look of everything customers would see. I quoted them $18,000. They agreed without asking me to lower the price. I sat with the phone in my hand for 3 full minutes after that call ended. I delivered everything over 4 months. When it launched, the person in charge of their creative work sent me a note. It said their regular customers had noticed the change. New customers were responding. The new look was working. I had that note framed. It hangs on my wall right now. I told nobody in my family. Not because I was hiding anything, because we had become people who didn't call each other. My dad's call came in April 2024. I saw his name on my screen, let it ring twice. Then I answered. "Ryan," my dad said. "Dad," I replied. He cleared his throat. "I'm calling about work. For the dealership. We need a new look, trying to reach younger buyers. I talked to a design company. They quoted $34,000. A pause. Someone suggested I call you first. I knew exactly what that kind of project required. I'd done similar work 4 times before. "What does the project include?" I asked. He described it. New logo, updated signs for both locations, digital images for online ads, graphics for the website, materials for the sales floor, images for social media. "My price for that scope of work is $22,000, I said. Silence. "Ryan," my dad said slowly. "I'm your father." "I know," I replied. "That's the same price I charge everyone." $22,000, he repeated. "The other company quoted you 34, I said. "I'm $12,000 less, and I understand your business better than any outside company ever will. But the price is $22,000. That's not something I'll change." Another silence, longer than the first. "I'll think about it," my dad said. "Take your time," I told him. "I have other work lined up. Let me know when you decide." He hung up. I put the phone down, sat at my desk, felt something I hadn't expected. Not satisfaction, not bitterness. Something quieter. The feeling that the conversation had gone exactly as it needed to. Nothing unresolved, nothing left unsaid. Because there was nothing left that needed saying. My dad hired the $34,000 company. Derek texted me about it 3 weeks later, casual as a sports score. Dad went with the other guys. "Their stuff looks pretty boring, honestly," I replied. "Hope it works out." I meant it. I had 3 other projects running. The new look launched that summer. The younger buyer numbers didn't move. Derek mentioned it in passing. The work looked like every other car dealership in the region. Safe, forgettable, nothing that made anyone stop and look. I said nothing. Kept working. September 2024. The Nashville Restaurant Project won a Regional Design Award. Mid-South Business Design Excellence. Best Visual Identity. The Memphis Business Journal ran a feature on young designers making an impact in the region. Half-page article. My name. My photo. 3 images of the restaurant work. I hadn't submitted the project for the award. The restaurant company's team had done that. I hadn't sent the article to anyone, didn't post it anywhere. I just kept working. My dad saw it. Memphis is smaller than it looks. His dealership clients are the kind of people who read the Business Journal over breakfast. Someone forwarded it to him. He called on a Thursday evening in October. I was finishing work for a client. Let it go to voicemail. Finished my work, made dinner, read for an hour. Then I sat down and listened. "Ryan, it's Dad. I saw the piece in the Business Journal. That restaurant work, it's really something. It's good work, son. Really good. I'm proud of you. I just wanted you to know that." 43 seconds. His voice was different than I'd ever heard it, quieter, without the confidence he always carried like a second skin. I listened once, set the phone on the desk, sat there for a while. Didn't call back that night, didn't call back the week after. I sat with that voicemail for a long time, thinking about what I'd say, what he'd say, whether there was a version of that conversation worth having. Eventually I understood why I kept not calling. Proud of you, after the award, after the article, after 2 years of building without a single phone call asking if I was okay, if I was managing, if the $340 had stretched far enough to start. That is not belief. It sounds like belief. It has the shape of it. But it isn't. Belief is $800 a month when someone has a full scholarship and a clear direction and is asking for nothing else. Belief is, I don't fully understand this, but I can see that you do. Belief shows up before the proof. When the outcome is still uncertain, when the only evidence is the person standing in front of you, and you decide they're worth betting on anyway. What my dad left in that voicemail was recognition. The work had become impossible to argue with, and he acknowledged it. That's a different thing from belief. It costs the person saying it nothing, because by then, the evidence is already printed in a newspaper. I keep the voicemail on my phone, haven't deleted it, haven't called back either. Maybe I will someday. Maybe the distance closes slowly over years. I'm not holding it shut on purpose. I just don't need him to open it anymore. I have a studio now in the South Main Arts District in Memphis. Good morning, Light. The framed note from the Nashville restaurant team is on the wall next to my desk. The folding table from Valentine Avenue is in the storage closet. I kept it because some things are worth keeping not for their use, but for what they remind you of. $340, a lamp from the curb, a folding table in a shared house on Valentine Avenue. That's where everything started. That's what the streets built. Here's what I know now. The people who dismiss what you're building will acknowledge it the moment it becomes impossible to dismiss. They'll call it pride. They'll leave voicemails. They'll mean it genuinely in that moment. But meaning it in that moment is not the same as having believed in it before the proof arrived. And the distance between those two things, between recognition and belief, is exactly the distance between who showed up for you and who didn't. My dad recognized my work when a newspaper printed it. That is not nothing. But it is also not what I needed at 18, with an acceptance letter on the dinner table and $800 a month to ask for. Real belief is a risk. It requires showing up before the outcome is certain, before the award, before the article, before someone else has already confirmed what you should have seen. The people who take that risk, who say I see something here before there's any proof, those are the people worth calling back. My dad left a voicemail. I listened once. That's the whole distance between us, measured exactly. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and tell me which country you're watching from. I love hearing from all of you. Subscribe so you never miss these stories about the people who kept building after everyone told them to stop, and about understanding that the validation you spent years wanting is worth exactly nothing the moment you stop needing it. New story every single day. See you in the next one. Take care.